Greetings, dear precious spirit soul that you are. And those are still just words. Words can never describe who you are. Words with an S before are swords, S-W-O-R-D-S. And then if you W-O-R-L-D, add an L to the word word, and you get worlds, you see. It's important for you to know the language, because then when you know the language that you're speaking, you actually know what spells you are casting through spelling and through your writing curses, you see. My topic, hold to your focus. Now, this is really important that, and even that word has other meanings. Anyway, how to stay centered and hold your focus, because there's so much domination, and avoid domination. That's what so many relationships are about. Who can dominate, who can control, who can guide, who can direct, who can get their way, have it be the way they want it. And you got to have it be the way you want it. And what that means is learning how to hold your focus, and also observing how there's a continual effort to redirect you away from what's best for you and what works for you and what your mission and purpose is. And you could make up any mission and purpose, because that's also the trap. That, you're going to, when you get born again, you're going to move to a higher level, and then you've got lessons to learn. This is all takes you away from your center, takes you away from truth, and gets us lost in this realm of confusion, of words, of suggestions, of beliefs, and so that's why there's so much effort always to direct your thinking, direct your consciousness, direct what you're doing. And you want to notice some of the ways that you're redirected and taken off purpose. That means you're shut down. That means you're continually told what to think and what to say and what to do and what you need to do and what you should do with your life. And all of this is domination. And yeah, a lot of us, I've been through stuff where it was not really the best thing for me, but I was also caught up in the world of suggestion, the world of, and those suggestions are they're hypnotic trances. And when you enter a building, it's called the entrance, the entrance. You're going into that trance, that conjured up reality, all right? So to hold your own focus, you have to look at how you get off your focus. You could be ridiculed. You could be, which is real popular on the internet, is to criticize people, make them look like fools, laugh at them, all of this kind of thing. And you have to say, well, what's my guide? How do I know truth from false? Okay. I was working with one of my students on the phone, and she was talking about how she was complete in anxiety. She had been in, I hadn't heard from her in a long time, and really absorbed in fear and anxiety. Well, I first said, well, why don't you breathe? She said, I haven't been breathing for 2 weeks. I've been so scared. Yeah, I have. Yes, because you start believing the thoughts. You start believing the news. You start believing the newspaper. You have to get who owns these. Who's has a vested interest in you having to get off your path. And most people, they don't know their path. They're walking on somebody else's path, or they're following somebody else's path. And you have to be able to know yourself and know how you get taken off your path. And I remember how I used to get taken off my path all the time was to have a relationship. You have to then be on their path, So to have a relationship, you have to give up your path to be on your. Why can't we both walk our path? You see, why can't all of us? Because if we have what our center is the divine. Our center is the mystical. Our center is who we are. So the key is to hold on to your own mission and just be aware of all the effort that other people put into trying to convince you to follow their path, to convince you to do what they want, to convince you that you're offbeat. And there's also moodiness. Moodiness is really manipulation. Anger is manipulation. Oftentimes gift giving. I mean, come on, as we look at all the ways that we ourselves have been taken off of our path, and people say, well, I gave my power away, now I'm going to take it back, and I'm angry that they took my power. No, but you gave them your power. You gave him your power of manifestation. You gave your focus and your mission, your purpose, or what you're about to. And one of the things I always love when I have retreats, at the farm where I live up in Shasta, and when people finally realize they know exactly what they want to do and who they are and what's true and what's false. But the confusion is other people always giving their 2 cents worth. Isn't that interesting? 2 cents worth. You have to look at the copper pennies right now. Aren't made with copper. It's made with zinc with some copper paint that they all start to disintegrate. So you better spend those pennies fast before they're gone. But just disintegrate. So, when you know truth from false, you're powerful. Because you stand in your power, and you don't have to fight people. You don't have to try and convince them it's okay for you to be who you are. You don't have to get permission from someone else. You don't have to do what they say they want you to do in order for them to like you or to be there or to do all of this kind of a thing, because what it does is it takes you away from who you are, and there's so much more going on than people realize. And that people aren't really what you want to do, or what I choose to do for myself is people say, well, how do you stay in such a great state of being? Well, I work on it every moment. And you have to be able to notice when you feel depowered and when you feel empowered. People that you feel confused around, and other times when you have clarity. And just notice what's changing. It's like even when you eat something, most people don't notice. They get really tired after they eat. Well, yeah, usually digestion goes to your stomach, but like I don't eat processed food. No, because it makes me tired. Takes my energy, takes my vitality. It's not real food, so the body can't digest it, and the body gets sick. And then people say, well, I'm going to get it well out there by taking something. No, stop doing what's making you sick.
I'm sorry.
Have a lovely day.
You too.
They do testing up here at the lake, and there's a really sweet person. And so anyway, so even that, see, okay, almost got me off my purpose a little bit because I'm really focused and centered. Come right back again. Stop. Don't blame people. That's just what's going on. Get back to center. And the more, like, say, you're breathing, more you can get those shoes off. You walk a little barefooted. The more you change, become a vegetarian. And if you can't get the really good, raw organic milk, then it's best to do the vegan thing, because there's all this animal cruelty that's going on. Unbelievable. Human cruelty. And so what happens is, if you notice, like, what may I say? There's a viciousness in a lot of people. And because they're so afraid, and they're so competitive and judgmental and attacking other people, because people who attack other people usually have nothing. They don't know who they are. So they're going to get their attention by attacking other people and saying, oh, we're loved, but we're going to attack these people. Really? So what that does is it takes your power and your energy and your purpose, and it convolutes it so that you don't become the problem solver. You become the problem creator. And how we solve a problem is to go beyond the problem to get to the cause. And when you get to the cause of the problem and you eliminate the cause, you don't have a problem anymore. And if you take a look at every effect on the outside has a prior cause. So how you stay on your focus is you use your moments continual moments of now into doing what's best for you. So if you feel confused around certain people, don't be around them. No. If you feel knocked down and depowered, and I remember years ago, when I first started doing my work, I had a little company I produced called Success Plus. And I was dealing in the corporate world, and I was doing keynote addresses for management clubs and Fortune 500 banquets, and doing seminars in, these big corporations for their people and everything. And usually the buildings, the place where they'd hold it, you have low ceilings, you have fluorescent lights, artificial air going through the air conditioners, and then you have all these people that are in fear. They were all in fear, but you couldn't talk about spirit. You couldn't talk about who they are because they only want the facts. We don't want any of this other stuff. And it was like the ceiling was pressing down. I'd have headaches because these people had headaches, and these people were all. I remember once I spoke. It was at a college, and in the class, and there were a few bright lights that knew what I was talking about, but others already were conditioned to be critical, judgmental, hostile, threatening, challenging, but in a way that wasn't really nourishing. So how you keep your center is you notice how you get off your center, and you notice how you stay on. Do your work to keep your focus, because you do know what you know and what you want to do.